In today's Urbandoned video, we explore the disused Shoreham Cement Works on the south coast of England. The factory has been shut for almost 30 years. Its stunning location and surviving features make it a prime industrial abandonment, and one we had been looking at visiting for some time. Join us as we head inside to see what remains. Remember to click subscribe and press the notification bell to never miss a video. In our last video, we asked the question, what do you think security measures will be like to protect abandoned buildings in the future? We had some very interesting replies, but this one from Polly stood out. They talked about the simple security changes that are noticeable, like front door cameras and doorbell monitors, and then suggested that security robots will be much more common in the near future because they would save cost. We completely agree. As it is the start of a new year, we would like to ask, what would you like to see from us in 2021 in terms of locations and special video ideas? Be sure to comment to possibly feature in our next upload. From the outside, the abandoned cement works is one of the most impressive structures we have seen. It is massive, towering 10 stories at points and spans across both sides of the road. We were aware that the land around the building contained security who have been known to be quite aggressive in the past, as well as an active truck hiring company. Therefore, we decided to use the cliff-surrounded wasteland around the back to get as close as we could. The dirt roads we were walking along were patrolled every hour or so, not long before this visit, so we took caution as we made our way over the rocky turf towards the distant chimney. After an hour or so, we had found ourselves within touching distance to the rear conveyor belts that would take us over the live trucks into the factory. The only issue here was that demolition work was ongoing around the conveyor building, and we couldn't get spotted by any workers.
See the guy? There's a guy over there next to the digger stood. Yeah, no, I think push up, lad. Push 2 bait here. Push up to the white thing. He can't see us, so. Nice. We're covered. If we go right, he won't see us. Yeah, up the mountain.
Finally, we had made it inside undetected.
I'm very bait.
Almost at the top of the huge conveyor. I think it's one of the biggest ones I've been inside. There's sounds of work going on, but I don't think that's related to the abandonment. I think it's a totally separate unity. They're just using the land of the site to do their business. Definitely want to watch my footing in here. Holy shit. Wow. These kilns are massive. Oh my god.
These long, impressive pieces of machinery are known as kilns and are a key stage of cement production. At the time of building, this pair were the first ever installation of Vickers Armstrong rotary kilns, which was replicated by other plants elsewhere. Their introduction was considered state-of-the-art, changing the world of cement making for the better.
It's almost like a blast door leading into this kiln. Just see what it looks like inside. Wow. I wonder what those chains are for. Obviously a ton of cement and maybe the mixtures that would create cement would go in there, and the cylinder would rotate and that would create the final product that would be shipped off and exported. They're immense though. For almost a simple task, they are just immense.
Clay and other materials would be loaded into the kilns that stretch 350 foot as a slurry before being heated to 1500 degrees whilst rotating. This brought the material together until it left at the bottom as kiln core, ready for the next process.
Walking beside these things emphasises how big they are and how long they are. The yellow machinery must have been the motors that would allow it to turn and dissolve whatever was inside. So cool. This is the abandoned industry I've been really wanting at the moment. And finally we're getting some results. Smashed gauges. It's interesting that a place that would make such a useful material has just been left like this. Look how much cement and concrete was used to build the factory, and now it's all in ruin. There's the entrances to some smaller kilns down below. Not as impressive as the main ones, but probably important. Maybe a smaller mixing process that was needed for the larger one.
The kiln core would fall into the coolers, which are the smaller pipes below. Once exiting these, the cooled material would travel onwards to the mill via conveyor belts, where it would be grounded up and formed into cement. With sunlight beaming into the production hall, it was an incredible sight. As a matter of fact, everything about Shoreham placed it very high on our list of locations we visited last year. It is an amazing place visually and historically too. The facility dates back to 1878, when the original cement company, Beeding Portland, was founded. It was taken over by Sussex Cement just before the turn of the century, who quickly introduced the two rotary kilns, likely to be the first of their kind. Each kiln would produce more than 550 tonnes of kiln core a day. In the mid-1900s, the plant was totally rebuilt into the arrangement that remains today. Despite the success of the kilns, they needed a lot of people to operate them. Although modified into a different cake feed process in 1983 to increase efficiency, the cement works was losing production. In addition, with high dust loss causing pollution, it was the end of the road for the gigantic complex with its outdated machinery, so it shut in 1991 and has lay abandoned ever since.
This looks like a control room for the main cement works. Hardly anything left, all the panels have been stripped, but you get the idea.
Every inch of the building is coated in cement dust, and most of the structure is overwhelmed by asbestos. It is this that makes renovation or demolition to the property difficult, as fees to do so are extremely high. After looking at the control room side of the hall, we moved back across to the conveyor side, where clay and other materials would have been fed into the kilns through massive pipes.
The sun's finally came out. There's really nice light glaring in from the hole in the roof above me. Seems like this side, from the rubble on the floor, is much more decayed. It's probably due to the wind just coming from one side and the building's proximity to the sea. This is quite cool. It's such a maze of staircases and walkways. Some nice old switches here and signs. In most of the place, not many signs remain, but here there's quite a few. I feel like although a lot of machinery is here and decaying, parts have been taken out. These pipes look like they connect to something, or there'd be machines on the flat bit that I'm stood on. Look at the bend of this pipe. It almost seems like they didn't plan its construction well and then they were just forced into this really sharp bend.
Thankfully, the kilns are too stiff to suddenly rotate nowadays, meaning we were able to wander down them to get an entirely different perspective, one that you could only get of a cement plant with it being vacant. Moving on from the colossal kiln hall, we progressed into other chambers of the building that would house storage and the cement mill, where the process would finish.
Watch this hole.
Obviously.
I'm gonna turn the torch off here. Cars. Just hope there's no one sat inside. This is a huge room. See where bits of machinery would have been on those concrete slabs, but nothing much remains. It's the room next that we want to get to.
Huge mixers would have sat on the stone foundations all that time ago. Potentially in the past, shortly after closure, the company would have wanted to strip the factory in order for demolition preparation, but as time went on the cost increased and the initial interest was lost. Beside the cement mill, a storage warehouse was near enough similar size to the kiln hall. In here the raw materials would be kept with a movable gantry crane that would run up and down the space to organise the imported material.
Yeah, this is surprisingly nice, even with all the graffiti. It's almost like a little turbine hall with old turbines, but these are motors. The triangular skylights are really cool as well. Very old. There's a lorry coming. It's gonna come right past this building. I think it is, you know. Jesus.
The motors would power the rotation of the mixers in the cement mill. Sadly, there was more than enough graffiti in the room, which is probably very old, with this building located right near to an active road, as we just found out. Following our close encounter with a truck driver, we figured it was best to leave this area of the cement works and look for a way up onto the roof.
Jesus Christ. Looks so cool from up here.
It's fascinating how nature has taken over the land around the facility as well as the building itself. The quarry where material was chalked off all that time ago has become the habitat for local wildlife, and plants have developed everywhere in the concrete and metal property, which shows how long they have had to grow. As for the silo structure across the road, we were told it wasn't worth a closer look, especially as it features many small companies around it and possibly inside too. Because of this, we were happy enough with our exploration to conclude it after enjoying the amazing views from its peak. Plans are constantly being suggested for the dilapidated cement works, but as of now nothing has come into fruition. The state of the factory can only get worse, shown by a fire that took place in September 2017, destroying 2 empty buildings and 19 vehicles parked next to them. Time will only tell what happens in the future for the property, but we are glad we had the chance to showcase it to the best we could. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the building. If you did, feel free to like the video and subscribe to never miss future uploads. Here are some of our photographs captured at Shoreham. If you like the look of them, check out our Instagram page in the description, where we post images from our explores months before they are seen on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was the ideal start to the year and you enjoyed our video. Although we are in another lockdown, we have many videos to come from our backlog, so content will continue coming every 2 weeks. See you next time.